Hi, it's Robert here, and today I'm bringing you the next update on my demon army. And finally, I'm showing my first bigger unit, that is my Succubi. And for you Warhammer players out there, it's basically the 9th Age equivalent of Daemonettes. So first up, for the actual miniatures, I once again went with Legion. And I used a unit called Hex Hunters as the rank and file. Now, I knew I wanted something unique, just like the majority of my army will be. But I couldn't find any beast-like models I was fond of, which otherwise was my first thought. But then I found these models, which look fast and agile, but not that tough or strong, which I thought fit the stats. And then I really love the models as well, so I decided it was my best choice. After that, for command models, I first went with the Beastmistress for Standard Bearer, because I wanted a model with the kind of flag that still looked like she was about to fight. Then as champion, I'm using the model to the right from Blackfort Shard, even though he has a horn and was an obvious candidate for musician. But firstly, I only found the two models to the right, and the middle one I'm gonna use as a champion for my Myrmidons. Then secondly, the horn he's carrying isn't really that visible, so I decided to have him as champion instead. And after, for musician, I instead took a Hex Hunter, and then I converted a bigger horn from Beastman's core box. And I gotta say, I'm really satisfied with the end result. Now, in addition to the 20 Succubi on the tray, I also have 2 extra models plus 2 unit fillers. Because obviously I want the option to go wider too with a unit like this. And of course, the unit fillers isn't my greatest work, and I will make new ones later. But for now, they suffice. And now some thoughts on the unit ruleswise in 9th Age. So for me, this unit is an auto-include. Not because it's overpowered or anything, but more when it comes to the role in my list. Because they're really built to deal with larger infantry units. And I'm not just talking about the stats. Obviously, the smother rule helps a lot too. Then besides that, it's not like there's a lot of option when it comes to core. And I'm currently not a fan of Imps at all, which kind of sells it with Lemures and Succubi. So in a perfect world, I either combo charge with single models, or I plant them in front of an enemy allowing an easy charge, knowing I'll kind of have agility 7. And as long as both take a beating, I then counter charge in my turn instead. Of course, in reality it's agility 5, and then I lower my opponents with Chilling Yawn. But I think it's easier to think about it that way. And that means, in the majority of situations, I know I will get full attacks on the same initiative at worst. And because of this, I think I want them 6 wide instead. But I don't think I'm gonna go 7 wide or line formation. And that's mainly because I think it's too hard to maneuver, plus the fact that combo charges and counter charges is increasingly harder to manage. Now, so far in my 3 test matches, I either haven't gotten the right matchup, or I've been totally outplayed. Like for example, against Orcs and Goblins, they get stuck with a heavily armored character, which just smacked them silly. And in this second one against Lion Guard, they actually did pretty well, but then I wasn't in position to countercharge, which obviously meant they lost in the long run. So on one hand, I guess that's part of learning an army. There's just so much new stuff to think about. But still, it's really frustrating and also slightly demoralizing. Now, when it comes to manifestations, my main one is gonna be Chilling Yawn, as hinted before. And since it's the most expensive, I'm probably far from the only one to think that. But besides that, I also like Dark Hide, which is a limited scout option if you didn't know. And this one I plan to sometimes use instead if I have a smaller second unit. Then also, since releasing my Kuulima's Deceiver update, I've been thinking about trying her out with a big unit of Succubi, and then having Venom Sacs as a guiding manifestation so the unit gains poison, because that feels like a really good fit. And in addition to that, having Divination on my Wizard Master, plus a second wizard with Ancestral Aid, gives me really good chances of getting reroll to hit. So that's all for this video. Now, as usual, I would appreciate any kind of interaction. Subscribing, liking, giving feedback, or all of the above. But since I'm still a beginner playing the army, I would love to hear some thoughts how other people see the unit. So for example, how you use it, which upgrades, and what you build around it in the list. So thanks for watching, and take care.